Hey guys, how's it going? Good morning, happy Friday. Hopefully you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. Let me go and set up this room real quick and then we can get started. So let's see, today is Friday, November 26th. It is 6:21 right now, so we have about 9 minutes till market open. So we just focus on getting all this stuff set up and ready, and then we can get started. That's good. Get the Zoom link out ready for you guys here too in the premium. So I'm gonna get this link right here. There we go. Hey guys, morning. Let me go and let everybody into the room real quick and then we can get started. See, people are still making their way in right now. All right, guys, morning. Happy Friday. Hopefully you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. Today's Friday, November 26th. Market's going to be kind of crazy, guys. Obviously, it's the day after the holiday. You guys did see the COVID variant news causing US 30 to drop yesterday. And looks like price is finally stabilized a bit. So, just looking at US 30 over here, price did drop heavily during Asia session yesterday into London. And then as soon as we entered London, price just stabilized right here. So price can do one of two things. Today, price will either recover and swing back up to where it originally was above here, or price can continue to drop. My guess is that it's probably going to recover because people are going to be buying the dip as people re-enter the market from the holiday yesterday. But who knows? We'll see. We'll wait and see what happens. I'm probably not really going to trade today due to the fact that it's just going to be super risky to be trading today. But if I see something good, obviously I'll let you guys know and I'll probably take it myself. But I think the majority of people here are probably going to be taking it easy, due to the conditions that we're currently in post-holiday and it being a Friday as well. So morning, Miles, morning, Matt, morning, Peter, morning, Orain, morning, Jay, morning, Fahad, morning, everyone. Looking at everyone's profits this morning, a lot of you guys did really good. Like Twan over here, logging about 4,013 this morning, and then 2,000 before that. He just pretty much held that trade. The others here as well, looking at the other group, a lot of you guys here as well. Jennifer locking a total of 5,635, so nice work off that. Noel over here locking a total of 176. His other account earlier 101. Albert locking a total of 5,700. So a lot of you guys actually caught those drops yesterday. Brian as well locking 4,000. His other account 2,000. Before that he was at 1,600, and then before that 1,900 off his other account. Some with Albert here again, he was up 6,963 on Bitcoin. He bought the dip. And there's just a lot of profit that you guys made during the holiday, even though it was a risky time to trade. Some of you guys obviously have a higher risk tolerance and you guys are able to take those trades and you guys are okay with it. For me personally, I wouldn't take trades like that because I just don't like taking trades that are too risky. And I think today is going to be a very risky day, for it being post-holiday and for it being a Friday as well. It doesn't change the fact that it's a Friday. Fridays are generally pretty risky anyways to begin with. So not necessarily a day that I want to take any trades that I'm not like 100% sure about. If I'm 100% sure about it, then yeah, I'll take it. But at this moment, I don't think I'm going to feel that way about any of these trades. Just drawing these other high lows over here. You can see that price is in a pretty tight. It's getting tighter. It's starting to squeeze, right? As it moves down here, and you can see price is currently consolidating at this point. They'll probably break out upwards or downwards on market open. My guess is that it's going to break out upwards because the thing is everything here is down. Or I don't know, actually, it might drop because what might happen is when people enter the market, when it actually opens officially, people might be chasing that that scared drop over there. So we'll see. I mean, I think price will definitely be pushing heavily one direction or the other, though. So we'll see what happens here. If you guys do have questions, feel free to ask away. Today's mostly going to be just me analyzing the charts, answering questions. I don't know if I'm going to be taking any trades. I do have my MT4 set up. So if I do see something good, yeah, of course I'll take the trade. But, I'm going to be very, very picky with what I decide to take because I don't want to get caught in some bad trades on Friday and then pretty much throw away a lot of the profits I made earlier this week because we had a pretty good week so far. Not trying to risk it. So, all right, market is opening in about 3 minutes. When the market opens, we can confirm what direction price is going to be going. Look at retail sentiment. It's currently 56% long. So it means that a lot of people are long right now. Looks like people try to buy that dip after it dropped. And that's something that you definitely don't want to do, right? You don't want to be chasing move just like everyone else. You want to wait to see what the market gives you, and then you want to react to how price moves. Looking over here at the futures data, it's currently 802 points in the red. That's pretty horrible, right? That's why a lot of people are trying to buy the dip because they're like, the Dow 30's dropped so much, they're going to buy the dip and then just going to catch it as it rides up. So my guess is that it's probably going to keep dropping a little more, but who knows? We really don't know what's going to happen. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes. When the market does open, we'll see what we'll see what people are looking at. Let's see. I can spend flights from 6 African countries. Wow, yeah. So this new variant is actually spreading pretty quickly. Looks like UK suspended flights from 6 African countries due to the variant. Israel has barred travel to several nations after they had one traveler with the variant, and then 2 more in Hong Kong, also 1 in Belgium. So as you can see, this news is still coming up, and it's pretty serious because obviously they're going to want to stop before it spreads, and once we get 1 case here in the US, it's going to be pretty crazy because we're probably going to go back to lockdown again to some extent. I mean, we'll see. Who knows? Yeah, it doesn't matter if we go to lockdown, we're still going to make profit either way. We're going to be trading either way. Yeah, G over here just said there's a new case of it in Belgium an hour ago. Yeah, I just saw right here, G, on this thing too. It said Belgium confirmed the case. It's nuts. Morning, Al. Morning, everyone. All right, yeah, so let's see what happens here. All right, 6:29 market is about to open in about 40 seconds. So about 40 seconds, we'll see what happens with price here. You can see price is still bouncing around the same range that we had earlier. Didn't really move out of it. Let's see what happens here. I'll zoom out a little bit. All right, so market is opening in about 15 seconds. See what happens here. About 10 seconds. 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See what happens here. All right, so that high has been broken. Here we go. This low's been broken. Every time these highs and lows get broken, I just delete them, and then I'll just reestablish the new ones whenever they're established. You can see that it's starting to bounce around pretty heavily. Price is dropping below here. Technically, this would be a high-low entry. If it closes below here, this would technically be a high-low entry for a sell, and it would also be a breakout if it closes with the little to no wick on the bottom. So I'm just looking at entries here. I'm telling you guys what I see was a possible entry, but it's not one that I'm really going to, be necessarily tempted to take because it can easily just swing back up, just like it did right there. Yep. So it didn't close below there, so there's no high-low entry. It also was a big wick on the bottom, so there's no there was no breakout as available there as well. So I'm just delete that. That low's been broken. And you can see that the range is it's just gotten wider. Let's see. So price is starting to drop even further. All right, if price closes below here, this would be a high-low entry. Also, this would be the breakout as well. If it closes with little to no wick on the bottom side, we got about 30 seconds left on this candle, so we'll see what happens when this candle closes. I mean, obviously, it's not one that I really anticipate on taking because it's such a big move, right, from right here to down here. It's already moved about well over 800 pips, so it's a bit of a risky move. You can see prices just bouncing back and forth. One thing that we might want to keep in mind is the news. If there's more news that comes out regarding the variant, it's probably going to drop even further. So again, right here, price broke it. It didn't close below, and it has a huge wick on the bottom side. So again, right here, no entry. This is now going to be the pending the pending low. So I'll put that down there. Other than that, it's not really much. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. I can answer whatever questions you guys have. I can look over anything specific that you guys want me to look over. But just looking at current price right now, it's just bouncing back and forth. Also, price is currently at the Asia low. And then price is just bouncing back and forth. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at the 3-minute real quick. Not really much here. You can see prices just consolidating pretty heavily at this point. Looking over here at the 10-minute, I'll go ahead and just draw some zones if there are any down here. No zones down there, so nothing for us to necessarily be looking at this moment. Looking over here at the daily entry. So whoever caught the daily entry yesterday hit full TP. I'm not sure if anyone caught it, but it did come up right here at 7 or 8 o'clock. Not yesterday, but the day before that. So whoever took the daily entry, full TP off that, you guys can see that the daily entry still works perfectly fine. We just haven't really been applying it much because I mainly trade on the 1 minute now. So I'll mark up the charts again right here. 6:30. If we get another daily entry, then obviously I'll send it over to you guys. But currently right now, there's nothing. Over here for the snipes, there's nothing available here either because there's no zones down here yet that have been established. Prices just dropped too far down. Going over to the 3-minute over here. The daily and the pivot scalp right here. And as you guys can see, that's kind of what we were anticipating, right? We were anticipating it to break up to the upside because of the people buying the dip. So as you can see right here, this would have been a high low. This actually would have been a really good entry. I probably, if I was following, I probably might have taken it because this entry right here lines up with 3 different strategies. So for example, it lines up for the high-low scalp. Reason for that's because price broke above here and it confirmed. So it broke above here. It confirmed the entry using the high-low scalp. Also, for the pivot scalp, you can see that price actually closed above the pivots here with the buy signal. So this would be an entry using the pivot scalp strategy. It'd also be an entry using the high-low scalp strategy. And it also would be an entry using the intraday strategy. Because you can see we have a buy signal here, trend meter is green. Those two line up. And that would be 3 different strategies lining up at the same exact time. So if you would have taken that trade right there, that would have been a full TP. Right there. But like I mentioned, I'm being careful today. So even if I saw it, I probably wouldn't have taken it just due to the fact that it's Friday and it's the day after a holiday. But as you can see, this is what I'm really looking for. Whenever you guys see me look for a trade, I'm looking for a confluence that lines up with at least 2 or 3 strategies. If it's just one strategy, it's fine. It's an entry, but the confluence isn't that high because you can easily just shift the other way, right? But if you have like 3 strategies that line up for the same candle, then it more likely than not would be a great trade. Looking at this one over here, this would be another high-low entry because price broke past this structure. And yeah, other than that, price is now spiking all the way up. So if you remember from the beginning, I mentioned that, price is probably going to shoot up because of the big drop. It's probably going to shoot right back up to where it was before it dropped yesterday. So price, let me go back to this chart. Let's go to a clean one. So price dropped over here, right? You can see price attempting to make its way all the way back up. So price started dropping around this area. I think we'd probably say it was around here where the Asia high is. So basically right here is like where it dumped pretty heavily. And you see price trying to make its way back up because people are buying the dip, right? They see that US 30 is available for a discount. So a lot of people are buying the dip. However, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a smooth move to the upside. It can easily just drop back down like it's doing right here. So I wouldn't chase the move, but I think eventually it'll probably swing its way back up. You know, it might not happen today, but eventually it's going to swing back up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to draw some time zones. So like we have the 6:30 right here. The market opened 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock. And noon. All right, so looking at current price right here, you can see that this is where, let me draw a line. Market opened. So market opened right up there. So what you might see here is price might come back down and retest the opening price. So price might come back down here. And then once it gets to this point, it'll either break down below, continue dropping, or it'll bounce up. My guess is that price is going to bounce back up. It's going to come back down, test the Asia low and this opening price, and then it'll just bounce back up to the upside. But we'll see what happens. I mean, price is coming right back down right now. It's not necessarily one that I would be too confident about until you know, there's been a better confirmation. But yeah, looking at current price right here, there really isn't much to look at. I'll take away these high lows because they've already been broken. So no longer any high lows at this point. Except this one. So this low is still there. Going back over here, this would be the next high that hasn't been broken yet. This one too. All right. So looking at current price, that's currently where price is at. Not really much for us to decipher right now, but we'll be looking for any possible entries here. See if there's any updates in the news. Dow drops 800 points as new code variant sparks market sell-off. Yeah, no surprise. It's the same news from yesterday. Let's see if there's anything else that's been updated. No real updates right now. The main thing that we'd be looking for is if the big news would be if this is found in the US, which is going to happen. I mean, obviously it's going to happen at some point, especially at the fact that we're not really locking down like other countries. The variant's going to come. It's just going to be a matter of time. Right here, you can see live watch stocks trade in real time as who warns of new code variant in South Africa. So they're having a press conference right now, guys. So you're probably going to see price spike back and forth. Meanwhile, as you know, scares continue to increase. And here's a live chart of the Dow. It's currently down 668 points. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's down pretty heavily, so it's probably going to come right back down. And I personally think it's going to come down and bounce off this this opening price right here. Yeah. All right, let's check the rest of the indices. I think everything is red right now. So yeah, the Dow's red, S&P's red, NASDAQ's red, Russell 2K is up by 3 points. Not very much, but it is up. VIX is up 5.9 points. Not very much either. But yeah, the Dow is down heavy right now. It's down 727 points. That's pretty crazy. 723 points. We haven't seen these numbers like this since COVID. So, you know, it's pretty serious. If you see it drop this much, if it drops like 1,000 points, that's a lot. That's like 10,000 pips. NASDAQ's down 142 points too as well. But the difference is like during COVID, if you guys remember, the Dow and NASDAQ actually moved opposite because a lot of people were working from home. You guys saw a lot of tech stocks go up, which saw the Dow continue to drop. Um, whatever happens, happens, guys. If the market continues to drop like this, then, our bias is going to be a sell. Goldman Sachs is down 14 points. Boeing's down 13 points because they're like stopping flights. American Express is down 12 points. Caterpillar's down 8 points. JP Morgan's down 8 points. Visa's down 8 points. There's a lot of stocks here that are down pretty heavily. The only green stocks here aren't even up by 1 point. So, we'll see. And it's continuing to drop. It's down 800 points now. Yeah, let's see. We'll see what happens. Anyways, going back to price, you can see price came down, tested the, you can see it's testing exactly at that point. See if it continues to drop. Yeah, this is exactly why I wouldn't want to mess in a market like this. There's just too many big things happening. As the day after holidays, a lot of people are re-entering the market. It is Friday, but the biggest news is the COVID news. So, that's such a big drop. Yeah, exactly. And Eunice said right here too. So the Eunice brought the like number one reason why I wouldn't trade right now. Eunice mentioned it moves too fast, can easily hit her stop loss. And that's exactly what I'm worried about. I'm worried about entering these trades here, having it hit her stop loss and then shooting right to profit, right? That's probably what's going to happen, especially because the stop loss is pretty tight. So in a situation like this, you guys want to be very, very careful because the thing is, if you're trading with 300 pip stop loss, 300 pips is not very much, right? That stop loss is too tight. But that's how it is during normal conditions. Like for example here, right? Every candle moves at least 300 pips. So if this becomes a case and COVID becomes a big deal again, like it did a couple of years ago, then we're just gonna go for a bigger move, right? If you guys remember, we were just applying the daily strategy prior, and it worked out perfect for us. Because the thing is, like, we'd have so much space to take these trades. And if you're trading the daily, you have a lot of room to be trading in. So as you guys can see the range here, if you're trading the daily, you got a lot of space for price to be moving back and forth. So, if that becomes the case, it doesn't matter. We'll just change it to a higher time frame or we'll go for a bigger move. We always figure out ways to win at the market regardless of the conditions, whether it be risky or whether it be safe, right? It doesn't matter. We'll figure out a way to win either way. We've been doing this for years now, and the market conditions kept changing, and we were able to find ways to bounce back. So Patricia over here as well. Nice work, Patricia. She took some sells here. She caught that big drop, locked in a total of 2,646. Great work, Patricia. Great work, especially. Yeah, so definitely great work right there, Patricia. And as you can see, price is starting to swing back up. You're going to see a lot of this irregular movement, guys, with price pretty much swinging back and forth. So I'm just going to take this off so that we can follow it and see where it's going without like much of a mess on the chart. But yeah, I'm still not going to enter any trades. See what happens next. Let's see. Steven said, so today's my last day to pass the challenge. It sucks. Yeah, Steven, this is, it's pretty risky. What I would do is if you're still in your, like say if you're in the positive, if you're like in positive equity on your challenge, you're up 6%. So yeah, like G just said right here, like you'll be fine to get a free retry. I just would make sure that if you do decide to trade, like don't lose too much. Like make sure that you stay in profit. Like you can still play around the market, but don't get greedy, right? You got to make sure to pull out of the trades when you need to. So like just make sure that you have your stop loss in place, because the thing is, if you chase the sell here, and I can already see people trying to chase the sell right here. If people chase the sell here, this can just like swing back up and stop you out like real quick. Or if you don't have a stop loss, this thing could just break right past your daily loss limit and stuff like that. So you can still trade, Steven. Just be careful And I would recommend that you have a stop loss always set up. Like I wouldn't have it too close because you can see right here, price is starting to swing back up. Like for example, if your stop loss is 300 pips, like I was mentioning before, you get stopped out real quick. You can see price pulling back right there. Your stop loss is not going to be very wide. So like you just want to be very careful, but you also don't want to have it too far out, because if you have it too far out, then you can easily lose all those profits and then miss getting your free retry. Yeah, man. Good luck, bro. Good luck. I hope you pass. I mean, you can. So there's two things that can happen here. You can either have a really good day and pass because the volatility is so high that you can easily catch pips. I mean, you catch like small scalps here and there. However, if your luck runs out and it goes opposite, then you can easily blow your account. So I mean, good luck. Keep us updated to see like what happens if you do decide to trade. I just, I wouldn't take the risk personally, but if you're in a tight position like that, you don't have any other choice. It's like the worst day for you to end your challenge on the day after Thanksgiving and the day after COVID news comes out. See if there's anything else here. Price is still dropping. So as you can see, this would have been an entry here using the high-low scalp, but Steven said, right, bro, no love from the market. I know, man. Today's it's a risky day. This could be another high-low entry right here, but I would obviously, I wouldn't take any of these trades, even though we see these high-low entries that are coming up here. It's not trades that I would necessarily want to take because of how risky the market is moving. Like, for example, here, like this would be it would have hit. However, it would have been a super risky trade. You can see how far it got close to the stop loss, and then it came right back down. So I don't know. I just don't like trading like that, guys. I don't like the feeling of risk where you feel like you're going to lose your account, or not your account, but you're going to lose a trade when you can just wait for better conditions, right? For me personally, I would wait for better conditions because I just don't like losing trades. Also, I don't want to like go into this weekend like feeling horrible because I took a risky trade that I knew I should have just sat out. See, is it an all-time low? Let me check real quick. So we got another low right here that hasn't been broken. And these conditions are like crazy. I kind of like these conditions though, because when the market's super volatile like this, you can catch like every scalp and it'll almost always hit. You just got to be really quick and pull out of them when necessary. But let's see. I think so. Price hasn't been this low since October 14. So I mean, it's not. I mean, it's been like a month since it's been at this low. Let's see how far. I mean, it's got a long way to go. If it wants to drop back down, it can. So if you guys remember COVID, let me just go back and see if we can. If I can show you how the market dropped. So this was February 2020. This is COVID. This is when the lockdowns happened. See how far it dropped right here? It can easily drop this far back down. It's like there's no reason for it not to, especially with the scares. So for example, it dropped about 10,000 pips per day. So you can see how far it dropped when COVID happened, right? About 11,000 pips. It's already dropped about like 10,000 pips today, I think. So it's no different than it was when COVID started. It's a huge drop right here. Yeah, 11,000 pips right there. Let's go to current price right now. And it's doing the same thing, right? It just started dropping right here. It's dropped about, actually that dropped like way more, but that was because COVID was like a real thing back then. I mean, it's still a real thing, but it was that's when we went into lockdown. So right now it's dropped about 17,000 points, or sorry, 1,713 pips, which is, yeah, it's basically 17,000 points. And this is just the beginning. If the scares continue to increase over the weekend, which is probably going to happen because you're going to find more cases, they're looking for the new variant. If more cases happen, you can expect this to drop even further, like way below here. Because, comparing this 1,700 points compared to what happened during COVID, in February. Like you can see what happened after each day, right? Like for like one day. All right, so this is how much it moved today, right? And this was over like a 4-day period. If this happened today, imagine what will happen on Monday, on throughout the entire week. It'll recover a little bit and it'll just keep dumping further and further as they find more and more cases. So you guys just got to be really careful when trading during COVID. We actually made a lot of money trading COVID during that time because we were able to follow it. For us, we trade daily and we're on this live session every day. So whenever I see something that's interesting or something that I can see that would benefit us, we take advantage of it. Currently right now, I'm not really looking to take any trades right now because of the specific reasons I gave earlier. It's Friday, it's post-holiday. If it was, say for example, if this was happening on a Tuesday and it wasn't after a holiday and we had the COVID news, I would for sure be trading because volatility is so high. But right now it's just super irregular, so I'd be holding off. To Eunice said, I sometimes use the high lows on the 10-minute as a confluence. You think that's a good idea? Eunice, yeah, definitely. You can use whatever works for you, right? If you find a better confluence using the 10-minute as a confirmation, then you can use that perfectly fine. I personally don't use it, but I can see why it would be a good idea. Because the thing is that guys, these high-low indicators, they work on all time frames. It's not just the 1 minute, right? So like if you want to use this on the 10-minute, go ahead and use it on the 10-minute, right? It works fine on the 10-minute as well. If you want to use it on the 1 hour, go ahead and use it on the 1 hour. You guys can use these indicators on whatever time frame you like. I personally don't use them on those time frames, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't work. They work perfectly fine on all of them. So like, for example, here, it works just as good on the 1 hour here, right? So it just depends on like how you guys want to use it. But definitely if it works for you, Eunice, like, go ahead and use it as however you like, because you can never, it can never hurt having too many confluences, right? Any better confluence than the other will just help your odds of winning the trade even more. Eunice said it doesn't close. If it doesn't close below or above the 10-minute, it usually comes back to the 1 minute. Oh, nice. Good to know, Eunice. Yeah. So Eunice basically mentioned that when it reaches, like say if it tests a high low and it doesn't close, then usually comes back down to the 1 minute. Yeah, like this one right here. So this is a perfect example right here that Eunice just mentioned, right? So you can see price came up, it failed to close above it, and then it just dumped super heavily right there. Yeah, so I mean, maybe I'll start using it myself, Eunice. Thanks for the tip. So again, right here, you can see this low right here. Price pretty much bounced off it as soon as it touched it. So that's probably something that you're good to, that would be really useful to see if you find like wick rejections off these 10-minute high lows. Maybe not that one there. Take off these sessions and the pivots. Yeah, so basically if you see like a wick rejection off, it usually bounces off it. Well, that's what Eunice kind of identified. Yeah, so I haven't tried any of these strategies on like other time frames, guys. But if you guys want to play around with them, you guys are more than welcome to. Like for example, right here, there's a high-low entry. I don't know if this is as accurate as we might think, but if this is the case, your price broke above here, basically be applying the high-low on a higher time frame. It's a huge move, 700 pips right there. Yeah, I mean, it's something that you'd have to play around with, but no, definitely I'll keep an eye out for it, Eunice. And if I see anything like specific that I see useful, then obviously we can probably figure out ways to use it on these higher time frames, which is inevitable. If the market continues to move like this and the volatility is too high, we're just gonna have to move on a higher time frame. Other than that, let's see if there's anything else here. Nothing on the 3 minutes. So technically, this would have been the daily entry. off the 3-minute, you can see that we have the opening candle right here marked up at 6:30. This is the first signal after. So this would be a daily entry. Obviously, I wouldn't have taken it, but as you guys can see, the strategies are still hitting. Doesn't matter if COVID comes up, doesn't matter if market's crazy, it's post-holiday or whatever, the strategies still work perfectly fine. Just depending on your risk tolerance, you can take these trades as they appear. So again, right here, using the daily on the 3-minute, this would have been a full TP. Also using the 3-minute pivot scalp, this would have been a good trade too, because both of these strategies lined up at the same time. We have a sell signal here, close below the pivots. So with that said, this would also be a winner for both strategies, for the pivot scalp and for the daily. And I think that's what you guys should be focusing on. Like, if you guys are wondering what I'm looking for when I'm entering these trades, I'm looking for multiple strategies to line up. This actually was 3 strategies. So again, like I mentioned before, you know, my very perfect entries, when I have these 3 strategies that line up perfectly, we had a daily entry right here. We had a pivot scalp entry. We also had an intraday entry right here too, because we had a sell signal and the trend meter was red. So with that said, there was 3 entries that are available. Whenever I see those and I take them, they're like almost guaranteed to hit. So a lot of the time, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, other than that, the next thing that I'll be looking for here would be a sell signal. So I'm looking for a sell signal and I'm waiting for it to close below one of these high lows, right? And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm looking for the same thing that I've been looking for this whole time. For example, if we get a sell signal and it closes below here, it's going to be a momentum intraday entry. It's also going to be a high-low scalp, and it's also going to be a 1-minute pivot scalp because it's below the pivots. So if I get a sell signal and it closes below these lines, I will probably take it, even though the market's super risky right now. This is one that I'm pretty much looking for, because this would give you pretty much a perfect entry. However, we won't get a sell signal right now because the sell signal is right here. We need to get a buy before we can get a sell signal. So even if this happens, it's probably not going to line up. But it would still line up with 2 different entries. Actually, no, it would just be one, just a high low. Because in order to get an entry for the pivot scalp, we need a sell signal. We're not going to get a sell signal right now. Let's let price bounce around. There's no biggie. If price bounces around, it's cool. We just got to wait for it to swing back up. So price is currently ranging right now. It's consolidating, which is completely fine. But what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a buy signal. I want a buy signal to close. There we go. So we got a pending buy right there. If that closes, when it comes back down, it's going to be a sell signal, which is great. It's exactly what I'm looking for. All right. As you guys can see, price isn't really moving much anymore. It's kind of just flattened out at this moment as it goes sideways. Let me see if there's any other news that have been updated. Damn, so the Dow is currently down 900 points right now. It's a lot. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens in a bit. Let's see. Besides fear, could we have increased resistance to vaccines, though who said further investigation is needed? All right, so I don't think there's any new news right now regarding this. Yeah, Dow drops 900 points now. Yeah, it looks like everything is pretty much down right now. Over here real quick. Yeah, the Dow's down 889 points. Looks like it's starting to trying to swing back up, but it's not having the best of luck. This higher here has been pushed higher. The Dow's down 889 points. The S&P is down 82 points. Nasdaq's down 197 points. Russell 2K is down now 66 points, and the VIX is still up, but I don't really expect it to pulled up that crazy. Yeah, not really much here. I mean, it's going to be the same story all throughout the day. You can see that the range got a little bit wider, but it's still pretty tight. So as you can see, volatility kind of died down a bit. See what the sentiment's looking like. I'm expecting sentiment to go up. And you can see here it is going up, right? So 155% to now 59%. So what's happening right here is a lot of people are trying to buy the dip, right? That's exactly what's happening at this point. People are trying to buy the dip. So people are shifting from the sell side to the long side because they think price is going to spike back up, which is probably not going to happen. It's probably going to keep dropping. So that's cool. We'll let the buyers keep stacking up into the market. And then as there's a lot more buyers in the market, like if this number increases to like 70, 75, 80%, that's completely fine because we'll start doing the opposite. We'll just keep on selling. Hey, Kenny, morning. Yeah, I don't really see anything really much for us to look at here. I mean, if you guys have questions, drop a question in the chat. If you guys want me to cover any specific strategies, cover anything that, that you guys are confused with, just let me know, drop a question in the chat. Because we're going to have a lot of downtime right now, obviously. I don't really see price moving too much. The main thing that we would be looking for is if price closes below here, like any of these lines. If it does, then it's going to provide for a high-low scalp, but it's not one that I would necessarily take because I'm looking for these to line up with multiple strategies. So for example, in order for me to get an entry for the pivot scalp, I would need a sell signal. There's a sell signal right here, so there's not going to be another one that comes up anytime soon. We would need, again, opposite buy signal before momentum can continue to swing back down. But currently right now, with the direction of price, it's not one that I would be messing with. I would just be waiting for it to confirm. Let's see. Yeah. You can see price isn't really doing too much. It's just ranging, but it's pushing the range out a little wider every time it moves, like every other candle, but it's not very strong. 3 minute, nothing here. 10 minute, nothing here. The daily, nothing here as well. But you can see price is getting close to the London. Get these little things here. Where's my settings at? It's getting close to the London low. So price is really close to the London low. When price gets to that London low, it might spike back up. We'll have to see. Oh, wait. Sorry, because I think my indicators here are kind of off. I need to update my indicator for the sessions high low. There we go. Forgot to set the updated one here. Yeah, price is actually close to the Asia low, looks like. Yeah, it's right here. All right, so not really much for us to look at, guys. It's kind of just going sideways at this moment. We'll be waiting. So price is starting to drop below here. If price drops below here, like I mentioned, it would be a high-low scalp entry, but it's not one that I would take because I'm looking for multiple strategies to align. So yeah, technically right here, or no, that wouldn't be an entry. This is invalidated. And this is invalidated too, it's been touched. Rav said I might join the buy club, LOL joking. Yeah, I wouldn't do that, Rav. Price is probably going to continue dropping today, or it'll probably go sideways and continue dropping slightly. I think by next week, though, people will probably start buying the dip. And it'll probably push up, but it's probably going to be very, let me scroll over real quick. This is a 10-minute. So what we're looking for is for price to pretty much stabilize a bit. Like, for example, you can see right here, let me show you an example of of what can possibly happen. So you can see how there was a big dump right here. So price dump right here. It stabilized around this area, consolidated, and then it came right back up. So you can see that this period right here, this happened between, well, this was during the holiday though, so it's not really an accurate depiction, or like it was the weekend actually. So like this day right here dropped, consolidated a bit, market reopened right here on the 21st, and then it came right back up. That's kind of what you're looking for right there. You're looking for price to consolidate to stabilize within an area, and then you can catch the breakout, continue the other way. However, if price doesn't stabilize, it can just, price try to stabilize right here. You can see how price dropped right here. Then it attempted to stabilize here, which I mean, it still is stabilizing, but you can see it's probably gonna go sideways for a bit. And then from here, it'll break out either to the upside or to the downside. I probably don't see it break out by today, but probably by like Monday, it'll people will buy the dip. I mean, it just depends on the variant news, right? My guess is that the variant news isn't going to get any better. It's going to get worse. So what might happen here is that price will stabilize. This is kind of what I see happening. Price will stabilize a bit. It'll push up slightly. And then when more news comes out about the new variant, with regard to COVID, when more news comes out like next week, then we're probably going to see it dump even further. Because what's probably going to happen is during the holidays, they're going to start blocking travel, right? And people are still traveling. It was just Thanksgiving yesterday. Christmas is coming up, where people are going to be traveling even more. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens when that does happen. I mean, obviously, I'm hoping that shit doesn't hit the fan, but if it does, we'll be ready for it. All right, let's go back to the 1 minute over here. All right, this is perfect. So we got the 1 minute over here with a buy signal. What I would be looking for now is for price to close below here. I'm still in a sell bias, guys. So like, for example, if this closes below here and we get a sell signal, then that's going to be lining up with like multiple strategies, because we'll have an entry using the high-low scalp, an entry using the pivot scalp, also an entry using the intraday strategy as well. So with all that stuff lining up, I think a sell would be probably pretty solid. It's Eunice said there's another low at 34,866 on the 10-minute, waiting for the 10-minute to close below it. Gotcha. Okay, let me go there real quick to the 10-minute. Eunice, so like Eunice is looking at this right here. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So this one right here, waiting for it to close below. Yeah, actually, that's perfect because it lines up with the other one right here too, Eunice. So for example, it needs to go down a little lower, and that's pretty much what you're looking for at this point too. So I think this would line up. If it closes below here on the 1 minute, it's also going to close below there on the 10-minute as well. Yeah. So I mean, for the most part, guys, we're looking for a sell here, but I'm looking for a sell to close below these pivots, or not pivots, these lows. So I need to close below here. If it closes below here, then it'll be good for an entry. And then I even might take it. I might take it with a smaller lot size though, so just keep that in mind. I'm still gonna be managing my risk properly today during a risky trading day, even though it probably would be a good trade. All right, let's see. The market is kind of moving, but it's still kind of slow. So we got about 15 seconds left on this candle right here. We got about 5 seconds. 2 seconds, 1 second closed. All right, cool, perfect. So we got a pending sell here now, right? In order for me to take this trade, I need this to close below these lows right here, or not even all of them, just this most recent one right here. If it closes below the low with the sell signal, then it would qualify as a good entry. All right, there goes our pending sell. Our main thing is that it closes below those blue lines right there. Those blue lines are the previous lows. If it closes below even that first one, then I think it'd be a pretty decent entry. If you guys do decide to take it, make sure to use proper lot sizing. I'd probably use something small, or even just trade on your demo if you guys don't want to risk your own, your live account. Because it's still a risky trade. So you guys got to keep in mind that it still is risky. Just because it lines up with the other strategies doesn't mean it's going to make it a perfect entry. It's just going to be a lot more probable compared to the other ones. All right, so this right here didn't close below here, so there's no entry for the high-low scalp. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to have an entry there. I was hoping it was going to close below here, but it didn't. So that's that. And that's the reason why I wouldn't take it. You can see price starting to swing back up right here. All right, so nothing off the 1 minute, unfortunately. What we were waiting for didn't play out, but it's fine. You can see price is kind of just going sideways at this moment. It's not really having a direction. It's kind of just consolidating as price moves along. Let's see. All right, the 1 hour is still bearish, obviously. The 10-minute is bearish, no daily entry yet. The snipes over here, let me see if there's any zones below here yet. Not yet. So nothing available for that. 3 minute, there's nothing available, price just going sideways. And then the 1 minute here, same situation, nothing available, price just going sideways. So as you guys can see, this right here would be an entry using the intraday strategy, which a lot of people use it on the higher time frame or lower time frames. However, it's not one that I would take because it doesn't fit any of the criteria that I was looking for. It's basically looking for a double entry or a triple entry using, all of these strategies here, but it hasn't come up yet. Let's see. Duggan said, "What did I miss? KT family took a week off the charts." I'm kind of joking. I've been glued to the market since 6 a.m. in Australia, but didn't trade all week. Interesting times in the markets like this. You can make massive money, but you can also blow accounts easily. Staying calm and focused. Yeah, 100%, Duggan. Duggan, you've been with us for a while here at K2. And there's ways like you've been around before when. And guys, here's an entry using the high-low scalp. However, it's not one that I would necessarily take because it doesn't fit my criteria. Even though it's an entry using one of the strategies here, it's not one that I personally would want to take because I wanted to line up with like multiple strategies and it didn't line up with anything here. So I wouldn't have taken this trade even though this is a high-low entry. And this is exactly why. See how price just kind of whipsaws back and forth? It's just too risky. It's not one that I would necessarily want to be in, even though it'll probably hit, but I don't want to be in that situation where I'm just regretting taking the trade because it's too risky and the market's too volatile, especially if your stop loss is super tight around 300 pips. But yeah, no, definitely, Duggan, 100%. It's key to just be calm, especially during times like this. We've all learned trading during times like this could be a really good thing or it can be a really bad thing. Patricia said, "Sean, getting off happy with profits and looking at charts make me want to trade more, which is dangerous. Ella, thanks for everything again." Yeah, definitely, Patricia. So happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. And probably a good choice for you to just sit out the market because it's the same with me, guys. That's why I have to get off the live session around like when I normally do, because the thing is, if I'm staring at the chart all day, it's going to tempt me to take these risky trades, which I obviously wouldn't want to take. Like this one right here, right? The same 1 minute high-low scalp is super risky. You got close to stop loss here, and then it's coming right back down to profit. It's probably going to shoot right back down and hit TP, but it's not one that I would necessarily want to be messing with. Let's see if there's anything else here. Nothing here off 1 minute. Nothing here off the 3 minute. Price is kind of just going sideways. It's not really doing too much. See, like this is super tempting to enter into. and it's probably gonna hit TP, and it did, right? So it did exactly what I just mentioned, right? Prices, it's just risky. I mean, it's a trade, a valid entry here, but you see how close it got to stop loss, and then it came right back down to TP. I don't want to be in that feeling, and you guys know how that feeling feels, right? Where you're like sweating and you're stressed out and you're angry and you're getting moody, and then you're just like, man, I should have never entered this trade. And it gets close to stop loss, and you're like, oh, should I just close it out and cut my losses early? As soon as you close it out, it drops right to TP. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have run into that situation. It's just too risky. This market is crazy right now, especially with the COVID news. But I hope this volatility sticks, though. That's going to be key. Like if this volatility sticks, that's going to be great, because when you come back on Monday, if the market's still volatile, I'm going to be making a ton of profit. Like I'm going to be glued on these charts. I'm probably just going to be sitting at my desk all day taking all these scalps, because that's what we did during COVID, guys. We traded during COVID, and I made the most profit I've ever made in like a short period within like COVID times, because price kept dropping, and literally you can take every sell. Whenever price dropped, I took every sell. And we all made a killing off that. And we were like using like very basic strategies too, like just the intraday strategy. Like for example, if it was sell momentum and sell signal, you would just take the sell. And then what happened with this strategy is that you would go for a bigger move. It wouldn't just be 100 pips. Like you would go for like, the entire move. And we just keep re-entering the trade and then hedging within it. And it's just, I mean, it was a great time. It was fun during COVID when volatility is super high. So I'm prepared for that. If it happens again on Monday, I'm going to be ready to take those trades. But today it's kind of just watching to see how the market moves, how the market is reacting to the news. Obviously, the market is not reacting well to the news. It's dumping pretty heavily. So it's just going to be a matter of just being patient and waiting for the stuff. So let's see Joshua over here. So nice. Joshua locked in a total of 400 off his first account right here. And then his other account, he locked in, oh yeah, he was trading on his demo, which is good. So like, see, Joshua here, even though he gets like, if you get FOMO and you guys want to keep trading, just trade on your demo. And you can see right here, price is dumping pretty heavily. So we were anticipating it to drop, and it did exactly that. So big congrats to whoever caught the trade. I didn't catch it. But it would have been good. So Albert over here locked in a total of 6,729 today on a Friday. Crazy, Albert. On a Friday, day after Thanksgiving. And he's pretty much capitalizing on those drops. So great work right there, Albert. Looking over here, Orain as well. Orain locked in a total of 1,020. I think that's your biggest profit day so far, Orain. From or no, not your biggest profit day, but a big profit day for a day for these type of conditions. So great work, Orain. Orain made about 1,020. Albert made about 6,000, almost 7,000 for the day. Patricia over here as well. Yeah, no, definitely. Patricia said she loves it like this. Same. Other than that, let's see if there's anything else here. So another low has been established right here. Man, I'm like super tempted to enter trades, but I'm not going to. I already know myself. If I enter any trades here, it's going to be a horrible news for me. So I'm going to be just sitting tight. If you guys have questions, I'm more than happy to answer all of your questions, show you anything that you guys need help with, review anything that you guys are confused with, anything really. I'll just be sitting around for a bit. I'll see if I can find any entries, but I think at this moment, it's I'm probably just going to be waiting. So Eunice, it actually broke that low that you're looking at over here, it looks like barely, but it did break below it, or I don't know, did it? I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, it looks like it broke slightly below it, Eunice, but I mean, it's too risky. It's not one that I would consider a strong red candle. Actually, you want it to be a clear breaking close past it. So it might continue to drop here, who knows? But I personally wouldn't, it just moves too fast at this point. There's like such a small little gap right here where it's crossed below it. It can probably, be a fake out. So I probably wouldn't. Definitely. So Joshua said, happy Thanksgiving. Have a great weekend, Sean K2 fam. See you on Monday. Yeah, so Joshua right there. Joshua is the one that sent the profits right now with he was trading on the demo, but he still did pretty good, right? And it's key to continue to trade, guys, even if you're on your demo. So if it's a risky day, I would recommend just going on a demo and continue to trade, because the more and more that you guys trade on whether it be live, whether it be demo, whether it be your challenge, it's going to keep enforcing your trade psychology, right? That's going to be everyone's problem, because the thing is, we have strategies here that work perfectly fine. The main issue with a lot of people is just trade psychology, right? You guys aren't able to trust your trades, even though they've been hitting. You could have one loss, and then you get discouraged, and you don't want to take any more trades, or you start taking risky trades, or you go off from the strategy or your plan. Main key here is to be consistent. Find a strategy that you guys really like and just master it. Definitely. So Dougie said, "Happy Thanksgiving. I'm getting off. Catch you all next week." Yeah, definitely, Dougie. We'll see you on Monday when the market reopens. See, I got other people here sending profits. So let's see, Steven over here as well. Steven locked in a total of 681 for the day. Looks like you had a bit of a back and forth there right here, Steven. Yeah, you're buying NASDAQ. Looks like you're trying to buy those dips. It's all good. You bounced right back here. You took that big sell off US 30, made it right back. And you're in profit, a total of 681 for the day. So great work right there, Steven. I mean, just keep it up, bro. You just got to keep up the consistency. Dell over here as well. Dell got caught, and looks like the little whipsaw right there. So he lost 800, but he made 1,528. So for a total profit of 655 for the day. Risky, but definitely made some profits off that. Oh, damn. Steven said just jumped 3%. Just need like 500 more. Damn, Steven, you're so close, bro. Hey, don't over risk it though. Like, so this is Steven, the guy that's in the Zoom right now. That is his challenge ends today. And Steven is so close. What I would recommend, Steven, is just wait for these entries here. I would probably look for a high-low scalp if you could see, or if something lines up, like say, for example, if you get a high-low scalp that lines up with the pivot and the intraday, then I think you should be solid. But don't overdo it, right? Don't go like on a crazy lot size. I see sometimes people try to take a crazy lot size and they end up losing it all on that last trade. So just just be consistent with your moves here, Steven. I think you're gonna get it, bro. So good luck to you. I think you should be good. It's just gonna be you just gotta be patient. You gotta wait for that perfect entry, because you got one shot, Steven. If you can hit it and catch it, I mean, you'll be good. Yeah, so see, we got one trade left. Gotti over here as well. Gotti locked in a total of 2,131. Nice work, Gotti. Yeah, good profits right there. All right. So let's see what happens over here. Let's see if there's anything else I'm missing here. Sorry, I'm just checking out the chat. Yeah, see, I'll probably hang around with you, and I'll try to help you find a good entry here. Because you literally just need one trade. It doesn't even have to be a crazy trade. It's just gotta be. It's just gotta hit. Let's see, so we got another high there. It's pending. Market's kind of dead now. All right, so there's nothing here off the 1 minute. Let me check the fundamentals real quick. I think everything's still pretty red. Yeah. Looks kind of intense right here at the New York Stock Exchange. People going crazy with stuff. I was like wondering, how do they even get pictures of these guys like this, like looking all sad just at the stock exchange. But yeah, the news hasn't really updated at all. Let me see if there's any updates. No, not really. It's just a bunch of stocks here that are kind of just red. but it's going to, I mean, obviously it's going to progress over time. So, and here's the thing, the problem with this here too is like a lot of people like wait to buy the dip. And the thing is, this already happened last year, right? So you guys remember when COVID happened last year, and then price dipped back up. I think this is going to give room for a lot of manipulation, because the thing is, a lot of people are going to think that the same thing is going to happen, or price is going to swing back up, but it might just keep dropping. Like the dip might just keep dipping, and that's why I wouldn't really want to speculate on taking any buys in the market unless you get like a valid entry. Let's see. Scroll over here real quick. D said, I don't really know how to word the question, but what makes today's volatility not good to trade in, but next week's volatility good to trade in? Is it because we have a better understanding of what the market is doing? How do you determine when volatility is good or risky? So today's volatility is that you're going to see a lot of manipulated moves. And the reason for that's because, for one, today's Friday. Friday is always heavily manipulated because you get a lot of people who try to exit the market before the weekend. On top of that, yesterday was a holiday. So if you guys remembered, a couple of weeks ago, it was Veterans Day for us here in the US. The market was very choppy, right? Market was volatile, but it wasn't really moving smoothly. It was kind of just bouncing back and forth. So today's volatility is risky because there's a lot of red flags. There's COVID news. It's the day after the holiday. It's Friday. And there's just a lot of stuff going on. Next week, the holidays are over, right? So you're not going to get this rush of people entering and exiting the market. So today you have a lot of people who are just trying to get their last minute trades in before the weekend. So you get people entering and exiting. So you get a lot of volatility there. And it's not really, I would say it's like artificial volatility, right? Because the thing is, if the market was moving like smoothly, like during the middle of the week, like for example, you said next week, that's because people are trading, right? People are trading because the week just started. People are trading normally. Right now, people are trying to exit their positions. So you get a lot of people who don't necessarily want to pull out of their positions, but they're pulling out because it's becoming the weekend. And this weekend's probably like one of the worst times to really hold on to a position because of the sell-off, right? The sell-off is going on right here. So a lot of this volatility here it's not normal volatility, right? Like this stuff is normal for it to be dropping like this. Volatility dies down heavily right here, and then it just picks back up, and then it dies down heavily, and then it picks back up. It's not like a smooth volatility move where people are just buying and selling all throughout the day. It's like something happened in the market, so people are just selling off real quick, and then people see the drop, and then they try to catch the dip. So that's kind of what makes it different, D. I know it's kind of confusing. Hopefully it makes sense to you, but it's kind of just using psychology, right? So what you want to do is you want to put yourself in the shoes of like other traders. So just think about other traders. What are they doing? What are they thinking? And you kind of want to do the opposite of them, because that's what the market makers, the institutions do, right? Trading is mostly psychology. Like it's all like, you probably hear it all the time. It's like 90% psychology, 10% strategy. Because the thing is, there's a lot of strategies out there that work. Like K2 is not the only strategy that works, right? There's hundreds of thousands of strategies out there that work. But this is what works for us. And then since we have a strategy that works well, all we need to do is figure out the psychology part of things. Once you have that, you're pretty much unlimited, right? Like for me, I take like 1 to 3 trades a day, but they all hit because I have everything that lines up perfectly. It doesn't go to say that you can be trading, 50 trades a day and you can still be good. It just depends on like what works well for you and how you're able to decipher these moves. But yeah, hopefully that helps with your question, D. It's just the volatility today is just, it's risky due to the fact that there's a lot of red flags. Hopefully next week, there's not as much red flags. I think there's still going to be new COVID news. So that will be fine. But the good thing about it is that people aren't going to be like panic selling or panic buying because of the weekend. It's just going to be normal movement, like a smooth move to the upside or a smooth move to the downside, either way. But yeah, so that's that. Steve, we probably might get a buy that closes right here. I don't know if you want to take it though. I don't know if I would take it. So, I mean, if you're asking me like how risky this trade is, I probably consider this like, I'd say like 70% risky. So I don't know if I would take it if it closes. It didn't even close. So there'd be no entry here available anyways. I was just saying if price was to close above here, you'd have a high-low scalp, but it didn't. So on to the next one. So we got this right here. Delete that. And now we're back into like a bit of a normal range. Oh, there we go, Fahad. Thanks, man. Thanks for that. So Fahad had this link over here regarding market close, because yesterday I mentioned that market was going to close early today due to Black Friday. So like looking at US 30 over here, where's it at? It closes at 2015. I don't know what time is this, because this might be to GMT time. Here, let me check the time zone converter. Okay, time is in GMT2. This is going to be, what does it say? 2015. It's going to close in about 2 hours. So the market closes today at 10:15 at 10 a.m. I mean, sorry, what am I saying? 10:15 a.m. my time. So it's 7:32 right now, guys. Market's going to close in about 8, 9, 10, in like less than 3 hours. So what I would recommend is if you guys don't need to trade on FT mode, don't trade anymore. Or I mean, if you have to trade, then trade, but you don't want to trade when it gets close to like 10 o'clock. Because the thing is, if you're funded, and this has happened to me before, that's why I'm warning you guys. If you guys trade when the market's closed, they're going to consider that trading over the weekend. So if you do that, they're going to take away your funded account. In January, it was like MLK. If you guys that are not familiar with MLK, it's Martin Luther King. It was like his day in January. I accidentally traded during that time period. I didn't know the market was closed, so I traded and I ended up losing one of my funded accounts. So you guys want to be careful trading during, like I wouldn't even trade it anymore at this time. You know what I'm going to do here is I'm probably going to turn off my MT4 so I don't take any stupid trades here and get caught in that, because I'm not trying to lose my account taking one risky trade. So let me just close this here. Actually, I'm gonna close it for okay, there we go. All right, my MT4 is closed. So if you guys do decide to trade during that period, if you're funded, don't even bother. Like, don't even bother trading right now. Yeah, exactly. So Fahad, just want to give Steven a heads up. Don't panic, but keep that in mind. Yeah. So I think you should be all right. Let me see what's going on over here. Steven said, "I'm hogging." Steven, did you catch it? I'm trying to see if you caught the move or not. Yeah, I mean, you're fine because you're doing the challenge. So like, but you're on your last day, so you have to take the trade. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't really matter for you. This mainly goes out to people who are funded. Like if you're funded, I don't recommend you guys trade right now. Because what happened is like, well, what happened with me was like I took the trade and I forgot that market was, well, I didn't even know market was closing. Market ended up closing, and then I ended up losing my funded account. So if you guys are funded, I wouldn't risk it. But if you guys are like in Steven's case where he needs like one trade to pass his FTMO, I mean, you don't really have a choice. You have to take that trade. So just a heads up to you guys who are funded, I would recommend that you guys just sit out the market, because it's like the worst feeling when you lose your account due to a technicality. And they don't budge. Like, trust me, they don't budge. I've like bugged them about it. And I told, like, I literally was complaining to them for so long. And like at that point, I was almost going to give up on FTMO. I was just going to go do a different company. But you know, I just ate my loss, and I ended up doing another account, where I mean, it worked out perfectly, because the only other big company at that time was like Funding Talent, and I would have gone screwed if I used them. So technically, right here, Steven, there'd be a, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this closes above here, you might have an entry, but it didn't close. So unfortunately, no entry there for a buy. Yeah, the market's playing a lot right now. I'll move this high a little higher. Nice, Maddie. I just saw your messages right now. Looks like, yeah, those played out perfectly right there. Looks like. Anything else over here? Damn, you guys are killing it. Just looking at the profits over here. So Brian just sent his profits in. Brian locked in a total of 11,044 for the day. So great work right there, Brian. Gotti over here, 2,131. And Albert at 6,729. Great work, guys. So all you guys have been killing it right now. Amazing, amazing work. Unfortunately, no entry off this right here. This would technically be a pivot scalp entry. Steven, I don't know if it's one that I would personally take, but this would be a pivot scalp entry. We have a buy signal here and it closes above the pivots. I don't know if it's one that I would personally take because it only lines up just one strategy. If it was like two strategies, like the intraday strategy plus a high low, then I would take it. But right now, I don't think it's one that I would take, even though it's a, you know, it is a pivot scalp entry. It's just risky. So, yeah, so Jennifer's question is market closes at 1 p.m. Eastern, right? I mean, I don't know, Jennifer, that it's because your brokers, it will close at a specific time. So you probably want to check on your broker. For FTMO, they close at 10. So that's FTMO. If depending on your broker, if you're using like a specific broker, you probably want to check on the website because each broker during a holiday closes at different times. Like I think like forex.com continues to go on further. It just depends on your broker. Go on the website and then usually they send out like an email, like they'll give you like their specific times. I'm not sure which one you're using, but they should have it posted somewhere. Let's see. Oh, man, I don't know if you took this trade, Steven. Looks like it's pushing up for the pivot scalp. I mean, it's not one that I would take, but if you did take it, looks like you probably could have made at least some profit to cover whatever was needed to pass. But oh man, hopefully, I'm hoping that you pass, or I'm hoping that you got that far up, Steven. Let's see. Let's see. See if I'm missing anything over here. Sorry, I'm just checking my messages. So no entry off here yet. I mean, this one's still running the pivot scalp, but it's not one that I would be taking. Just checking the messages over here real quick. All right. There we go, full TP off that. So hopefully you caught that, Steven. I don't know if you caught it, but full TP off that that pivot scalp. You know, like I was mentioning, it's probably gonna hit, but it's just too risky. So it's not one that I would take. But I mean, there's a couple entries that came up. Hopefully you caught at least one of these. So guys, it's getting close to 8 o'clock. I think I'm gonna be done for this session. If you guys do have questions available, you know, let me know. Pop into the email, pop into the Telegram. But other than that, I think we're good for the most part. So if you guys do have questions, reach out. Otherwise, I think I'm done for today. I'm not going to trade in at myself because it's getting close to market close for FTMO. They're closing early today due to the holiday. And I'm not going to risk losing my account due to, you know, getting greedy and wanting to catch like one of these scalps here. So if you guys do have questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I think I'm done for the day. And if you guys don't have to trade, I'd recommend just sitting out the market, right? Just go and enjoy your Thanksgiving weekend, and then come back on Monday on market reopen so that we can go ahead and recap and catch this. Gotcha, Steven. It's all good. Yeah, so Steven actually said he's just going to redo his challenge. So you're good, Steven. All right, man. So yeah, definitely. I'll catch you guys back here on Monday. And then if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, guys, have a great Thanksgiving weekend. Relax, enjoy your weekend, spend time with family. Do whatever you can do to get away from the charts for today, because the market is going to close soon anyway. So, just go find something to do with the rest of your day. But if you guys do have questions, reach